Good afternoon. I'm meteorologist Justin Gehrts, and thank you for joining us with the 10 Weather Impact Show. Certainly is a warm one for us as we go throughout the next few days around here. We're going to be watching, of course, for some rain and storm chances coming up over the next few days as well. There's going to be a lot of time that we're dry, but do keep in mind that there will also be some intervals where we have to contend with those chances of rain and storms. Now, as far as today goes, everybody has to deal with the gusty breezes out there. Could be as high as 30 miles an hour from time to time. Do have that summer feel going on for now. That's the key part, because by Easter Sunday, temperatures are going to be much cooler. And yes, we have the occasional rain and thunderstorm chances around probably through, I would say, later Saturday night. Easter Sunday should be a dry one for us. Now, as far as how things look here at 2 o'clock this afternoon, there's nothing out there. We had those showers very early today. Since then, not much is going on, but we could see a couple more try to pop up, kind of disorganized in nature. You see a lot of these little fair weather clouds bubbling up. A couple of those could produce a shower or storm this afternoon. A warm front is lifted off to the north, though, so I don't expect any organized activity, just the kind that pop up. They last for a few minutes and then they move right along. And that'll be a thing that we have to contend with probably for part of tomorrow as well. Now, even though we have the warmth, I wanted to head north because some parts of the upper Midwest and northern plains have winter weather alerts. In fact, there was a whole bunch of ice across some portions of central Wisconsin earlier. That threat is now winding down, but you see up off to the north, yeah, it may be early spring, but even there, plenty of that wintry weather is happening. Here locally, don't worry about that. But we are going to be pushing record highs over the next few days. Looking at a high right around 81 in Columbus today. Record is 84. Now, even if we end up a little bit warmer than I'm anticipating, I still think that record is probably safe. Tomorrow, though, the record high is 80, and I'm forecasting 80, so right now looks like a tie. Then for Saturday, forecast of 80 once again. Record is 82, so we're going to be pushing that territory once again. Now, these are also the afternoon highs. The overnight lows the next couple of nights are going to be record warm as well, in the 60s. Now, as far as what to expect as far as the weather impacts from the gusty winds, that'll be happening this afternoon through the early evening, up around 30 miles an hour from time to time. Just want to be careful on those east-west roadways because the wind is coming out of the south, so there'll be some of those crosswinds going on. So watch out for those taller vehicles as you go around them. There you see on the wind gust forecast again, south to southwest as high as 30 miles an hour at times. Farther to the east, probably a little lighter. To the west of Columbus, maybe a little bit stronger, but I would say give or take 30 miles an hour should give you a pretty good estimation. Winds back off a little bit tonight into tomorrow. Notice the peak wind gusts not as high on Friday. That said, they are still going to be noticeable for sure as those winds stream out of the southwest and keep pumping that warm and relatively humid air our direction. In fact, speaking of relative humidity here, here's the dew points, and it is somewhat humid for this time of year. Anytime we're above 60 in April for a dew point, you can feel the mugginess somewhat, and that kind of air keeps streaming our direction. Be ready for the warm and humid weather. As I mentioned, kind of a summer flavor to our forecast here the next few days. Here's your hour by hour as we see those occasional little pop-up clouds around, and those may produce a stray shower or thunderstorm here this afternoon into the evening. You'll notice, though, the coverage is very limited. Sun goes down, most of that tapers off for the time being. Now, tomorrow morning, we'll see another area of scattered activity move back in. Could be around for the morning drive on Friday. Not a guarantee, but something to keep in mind. You want to join us once again starting at 5 a.m. tomorrow as we update you on where exactly some of those areas of rain are located. That'll get out of here pretty early tomorrow morning, and then for the afternoon, most of us are dry, but again, a stray shower or storm could pop up once again later on Friday. That'll be winding down Friday evening as that activity lifts off toward the north. Saturday morning ought to be dry the way things look at this time. Then, once again, with the warmth and humidity of the day, an isolated shower or storm pops up Saturday afternoon. The more organized activity comes with a cold front later Saturday evening, early Sunday night. Here's midnight, Saturday night, Sunday morning. There you see more of this stuff coming through. Pushes out of here, should be out of here by daybreak on Easter morning. Looks like we should avoid the rain, but there'll be quite a few clouds, and the temperatures are going to be substantially cooler. So for today, 81 for a high, mostly sunny with an isolated storm a possibility. Sunset just about 8 o'clock with those south breezes of 10 to 20 gusting as high as 30. Here's your 7-day forecast, 80 tomorrow, 80 on Saturday. Check out those overnight lows too. Those are pretty close to our normal high actually, so it is very muggy and warm during the nighttime hours as well. Easter Sunday down to 53 for a high, more clouds than sunshine. Also still a little windy out there, so keep that in mind. We also stay cool going into the first part of the week here. 57 on Monday, 51 on Tuesday. Could be some patches of frost the first half of next week as well, especially Wednesday morning, the way things are looking. Ought to be a situation Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as well, where we have a lot of sunshine in the morning, then those fair weather clouds pop up in the afternoon. Kind of a common thing as we see that kind of regime take over with the cool temperatures aloft as well. So some good weather this weekend if you want to be heading outside, and if you are looking for a way to enjoy all this nice weather, well, we have some good news. A new Metro Park is now open. We are talking about the Great Southern Metro Park on Williams Road. Take a look here. This 70-acre park just opened officially yesterday. Whole bunch of trails and amenities like an obstacle course, and by the way, pets are allowed on all the park trails too. Cool stuff there. Always nice to see that. All right, moving on to national news and the growing wildfire threat this season, starting first down in Florida, where evacuations took place late last weekend for a fast-moving brush fire. That fire sparked off in the Weeki Wachee Preserve, forcing mandatory evacuations along the east side of Shoreline Boulevard in Hernando Beach on Sunday evening. Local CBS affiliates are now reporting that fire is 100% contained. All right, then over to much of the mountainous regions of California. The winter snowpack is already gone. California water officials just did their last snow survey of the season. What they found was no measurable snow in parts of Phillips Station near Lake Tahoe on Wednesday. Officials said this is California's second lowest snowpack in recorded history. Typically this time of year, measurements would show about 5 feet of snow at Phillips Station. The April survey is typically near the peak of snowpack accumulation before temperatures begin to warm and the snow begins to melt. Now, this is a critical marker for water managers across California to provide them with a preview of what to expect in the coming drier months. Of course, that missing snowpack and water could have big impacts down the road as fire season kicks into gear, but some new technology is now letting crews fight fires without using any water at all. The San Bernardino County Fire Department is testing new technology that puts out flames with sound waves. CBS LA's Joy Benedict shows us the new tool that's helping firefighters respond to emergencies while saving critical resources.
Sound the alarm. There is a new way to fight fire, as this demonstration shows the flames seem to vanish into the air.
It's really intriguing.
Firefighter Ryan Beckers was there when a technology company tested out its newest firefighting system for the San Bernardino County Fire Department. They set trees on fire, even grease. But this hose doesn't shoot out water. It shoots out sound waves.
They use infrared technology to detect flames, and that sets off a trigger to start the sound waves.
It's a product by Sonic Fire Tech, which, although sounds like science fiction, is really just science.
We vibrate the oxygen at a rate where fire can't consume it, and it breaks the chemical reaction.
Remington Hotchkiss is the company's chief commercialization officer. He says all fires need oxygen to burn, but removing it completely can be dangerous. Their technology just breaks it up.
We use infrasound, which are sound waves that are inaudible to the human ear.
Right now, the technology is starting small, with systems being built inside homes to replace sprinkler systems.
A water sprinkler system is highly ineffective at putting out a grease fire. It actually spreads the fire and makes it worse. But yet we're mandated to have sprinklers above our kitchen stoves. And so our system was shown to suppress the fire, prevent the ignition from occurring with an autonomous detection device.
And doing it without wasting water or leaving water damage behind. But the hope is, eventually, this technology can be used on the outside of homes to prevent the spread of wildfires, or possibly by firefighters.
I have 2 little kids, and the thought of putting water infrastructure in place means that we're robbing them of the opportunity to drink that water in the future.
And although this company is just beginning to market its magic, it's something the San Bernardino County Fire Department is excited to see in use.
If you keep a fire small because a fire was detected while it was small and put out right away, that's going to save money. That's going to help with insurance rates.
A win for the department and homeowners, as we've seen too frequently how something small can easily spread to devastation. Joy Benedict, CBS LA.
Booster ignition and liftoff.
Right now, Artemis II is off the ground and hurtling through space toward the moon. A video shows a successful launch from Florida's Kennedy Space Center yesterday. The crew of 4 astronauts is expected to travel a record 252,000 miles away from Earth, circling around the moon and back. It's NASA's first manned moon mission in more than 50 years. Of course, CBS News was down there to cover this historic event, and check out this moment when the power of the launch shook the studio as they watched the launch.
That's a little more than a Falcon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, it's wild. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Wow is right. Obviously, their studio is set up well away from the launch site, but this just goes to show how much force was being unleashed at one time. And now Artemis II is well into its first full mission day, traveling high above the Earth after a successful launch yesterday from Kennedy Space Center. More critical steps lie ahead. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavides has more from Florida's Space Coast.
The crew of Artemis II chose the song Sleepyhead by Young and Sick to wake them up from their first 4-hour slumber in space.
We forgot how beautiful it is to look down on Earth.
The astronauts reported an amazing ride after a picture-perfect blastoff from the Kennedy Space Center.
3, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff.
After a brief 54-year intermission, NASA is back in the business of sending astronauts to the moon.
There were a couple of minor issues before and during launch. All were successfully resolved, including the first toilet on a mission to deep space that briefly malfunctioned.
This is a flight test, and a lot of what we're doing here is exactly this, trying to test out all of the things that require the crew interaction.
A critical moment comes Thursday night, an engine firing sending Artemis II out of the Earth's orbit and heading to the moon. Here on Earth, the blastoff brought elated cheers from those watching the launch in Florida, as well as watch parties across the nation.
I want to go to the moon when I grow up.
The 9.5-day mission will take the crew to the far side of the moon, farther from Earth than ever before. Christian Benavides, CBS News, at the Kennedy Space Center.
Our family watched that last night as well. Now, finally today, let's check out some new video into us here at 10 TV. We talked about the snow drought in the west earlier in the show, but there is one spot in the mountains that got a big blast of late-season snowfall. This is from Soda Springs, California, where skiers and snowboarders at Boreal are making the most of a late-season surprise after weeks of summer-like weather. Statewide, the snowpack is just 18% of average for this time of year, after much of it melted early during that warm March. Scenes like this are not likely to last very long. I'm sure people were getting their last little hurrah there before it's done for the season and have to wait until next winter. And now lastly, more amazing video from out of Greece, where the skies over the island of Crete were draped in an orange hue on Wednesday after being blanketed by a haze of dust that swept in from the African continent. The town of Heraklion was immersed in orange dust, which formed when strong winds pushed sand and dust particles from the Saharan desert in northern Africa across the Mediterranean. Local media reported low visibility from the dust caused some flights headed to the island to have to go to other airports. The dust comes as a storm front passes through the country, bringing rains and strong winds. Yeah, certainly quite a situation there. I can't even imagine that much dust blowing around and just blotting out the sun quite in that way. So thankfully, even though we have some wind around here, don't expect any scenes like that. Although any of those fields that are starting to get worked on, there may be some of that loose dirt and dust could get blown across in those wide open areas, but should not be a widespread issue for us. Again, though, for the rest of the day, there could be an isolated shower or storm that pops up, but most of us are dry, just breezy and warm with those high temperatures around 81 degrees. Somewhat better chance of a scattered shower or storm comes early tomorrow. Then again later in the day, best chances later Saturday and especially early Saturday night as a cold front sweeps through. Really knocks our temperatures down from those near record highs the next few days, down to 53 on Easter Sunday. But right now it does look like that day should be dry now, just more clouds and sunshine. And then some quiet weather for the first part of the next work week with highs in the upper 40s to low 50s. So it is going to be cooling down for sure as we go into the coming days after Saturday. All right, that's it for us here with the 10 Weather Impact Show. I'm meteorologist Justin Gehrts. Chief Meteorologist Chris Tomer will be in starting at 4 o'clock. And of course, you can always find us on 10tv.com and on 10TV+. Have a great afternoon.